Well, hello, my soul friends. Full moon in Aquarius. This is, I'm recording it the day before because this is all spontaneous. I've been kind of on a checked out for a little bit, but my soul is like ramped up, wants to talk. Here we are. So I'm just wondering how you're feeling. This is how we follow the symbolic language of astrology. We notice what's happening in our inner worlds and in our external worlds and how we feel about it and what we're called to do and what we're noticing. So I wonder what you've been noticing. For a lot of people that I work with and friends that I have, I know I have been hearing, I feel really uncomfortable. I feel kind of like a irritability, a frustration. Like I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, right? So how I hear it through my transformational soul guidance ears is, growing pains, growing pains. I know you're so tired of this, but it's true. We are in transformational, intensely transformational times, and we are growing, we are shedding, we are evolving to rebirth ourselves and rebirth the world that we share. And yes, this is hard work. Birthing is hard. It's messy. It's painful. We get tired. Anybody tired out there? So yeah, we've been growing through some big stuff. We are being called out of the box of conformity, called out of the box of our conditioned way, our unconscious patterns. And I keep having this image of breaking teeth. You know, if you can remember back to when you were little and you were cutting teeth, or you've had your babies cut their teeth, and how painful that is. Cutting new teeth. To be able to digest what we are. Okay, I'm just going to go with this. This is going to be kind of a freestyle. As you know, I've kind of stepped away for a while with the videos. Yesterday, I felt like I have to come and do a video and tell you all what's been going on with me as a check-in, because I know if I'm going through it, you are too. So go watch that video. I'll put that in the description box. And please comment, let me know how you're doing. I really do truly, genuinely care about you. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you who have supported my channel, who support my work, who are my clients, and who email me and comment and reach out for support when you need it. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for your patience and being with me. Anyway, cutting teeth and also growing pains. I can still remember, I was feeling into this full moon, but also this full moon is so reflective of this year. 2025 has been a big year of planetary shifts, shifting into different planet signs, and a lot. I would say, I kind of want to say spicy. I kept hearing that song, Spicy Margarita, when I was thinking about this full moon. This is the one big spicy margarita, like triple shot. So, but remember when we talk about, I'm just somebody who knows how to interpret this symbolic language of astrology, and that's what it is, a guidance system, right? Creator sent us here with a roadmap, a soul map, which is your natal chart, and then the transits that are happening around your unique natal chart and our collective transits are kind of like ushering us forward. And yes, we grow through challenges and we celebrate our blessings and we continue one foot after the other. And sometimes it's slower and it's more like walking through mud, and sometimes we soar. And this full moon, I believe, is illuminating a path forward where we do soar, okay? So remember to comment and continue to be with me as I do apologize for being erratic with these videos. I've got a lot of personal things going on right now, as I'm sure many of you do. We are all in this together. If I'm feeling this intensity, I know that you are. Comment as much as you want. Stay with me. Watch other videos, even if you've watched them before. The idea of this channel, the Soul Nurture channel, is to help anyone on a path of unfolding and reclaiming. That's what I call transformational work. Reclaiming the essence of who we are, reclaiming the potential we came in with, reclaiming our unique soul mission. So if this speaks to you, stick around with me. Thank you for your patience. And let me know where you're viewing from. I always love to know that. Okay, so yeah, reclaiming this full moon. We're still in Leo season, so just a little foundational information for if you're new to the symbolic language of astrology. This part of the lunation cycle called the full moon that most of us love because we get to see it and feel, when it's clear anyway, the beautiful full moon. The moon that does not emit light is so bright. Why? The sun is reflecting off the moon. This reflection is from an opposition, 180 degrees apart. Opposition. Now think, how does that feel in your body when you feel opposition? Oh gosh, I don't want any opposition. Opposition, though, shows us like the dynamic of both, right? And then we find so this full moon really is not only just the opposition. There's a lot going on where it feels like an inner tug of war, and even a tug of war with our external world, the old, the new, the my belief, your belief, old beliefs, new beliefs. What wants to stay from the old past way of being conformed and conditioned to what wants to emerge to take us to new possibilities. Tug of war. What do we do in oppositions? It's like parts work. We look at what is needed on both sides that needs to be integrated to help us evolve into our wholeness and reclaiming so we can shine brightly, letting that soul shine through all and everything, right? Okay, a couple of quotes to begin because I'll talk more about, so Leo season sets us up for the full moon in Aquarius. Leo, sun, moon in Aquarius, 180 degrees apart. Leo season is really about letting your soul shine. It's about taking center stage in your life. It's about creative expression. It's about being the queen of your life. It's about, bravery and strength and courage to be yourself. And then the moon in Aquarius is all about authenticity, uniqueness, getting out of the box, no longer conforming, being innovative and expressive in your unique self, letting yourself just be your wild and wacky, unique self and not caring what anybody else thinks. Now that is an opposition because Leo really does care. Leo wants approval. Aquarius says, I don't need your approval. Nobody needs to approve of me. I'm just going to be myself. So do you see the tug of war? I want approval. I want to be myself, right? And this is so conditioned in us anyway. And remember, every time we talk about a sign, we have all of these aspects in us. These are archetypal expressions of the human experience. So you may be whatever your sun sign is, and put that in the comments. Actually, I'd love to know what your primal three are, your sun, moon, and rising. If you don't, you need to schedule a session with me or a consultation. I'm really limited on consultations right now because I have a very busy summer and lots going on. But I'd be happy to do that for you, or send me an email. That takes me 5 minutes. Email me if you don't know, or go to astro.com and do your own research. Okay. All right. So, and then put it in the comments. Okay. I feel like, symbolic language of astrology is so needed right now for these reasons. We need to better understand ourselves as souls having a human experience, and then understanding, I think that astrology can show us there's Creator has a greater plan in motion. In our human experience, we're like, what the F is going on, right? And we lose the thread of the spiritual guidance of I just think of the thread, of the connection to Creator. And then we go into fear and we lose our faith. And we really need to stay connected to faith and hope and cultivate whatever we're growing through, our inner strengths, our spiritual strengths, that allow us to keep going. So here are a couple quotes that set the feeling of this full moon, okay? I love this one from Steve Jobs. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Now, crazy enough feels like Aquarius, eccentric, crazy, quirky, Somebody called me quirky once, and the first time I heard it, I was like, what? And then the next time I was like, yeah, like that. I have said, I'm sorry, I have Aquarius in my first house. Saturn's in Aquarius. Um, so I really love the Aquarian energy, and that this brings for this full moon to just really give yourself permission to shed all the shoulds and can'ts and what will they think, and just emerge your essence. Okay, that's really what the call is. And then I love this one from Mother Teresa. I alone cannot change the world. That's true, right? But I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. This full moon in Aquarius is inviting us to create our own ripples, to emerge into our authentic selves, to shake off the past, to shake off the old ways, to, throw the stone in the water of your contribution, right? And in Leo season, it's to show up perfectly imperfect, even though Leo wants you to have it all together. Aquarius doesn't care. Just show up, speak your truth. Our truth is needed more than ever. And Moon in Aquarius is also about serving humanity. So, a lot of people wonder, like, what's my purpose? I'll tell you what, where your heartstrings are pulled is connected to your purpose. Anything happening in the world right now that you're really, feel heartbroken about, or turned upside down, or torn apart, connected to purpose. Okay. All right. So this full moon in Aquarius is happening on August 9th. Again, it's late. I haven't planned on doing any videos for a while. I had to check out. Again, go watch the other video. Please watch it right after this video, because when you watch back-to-back videos, it starts putting me out in the YouTube algorithm again. So I do take responsibility for not being here consistently, but as you are, I'm doing the best I can do with what is. Okay, August 9th at 12:55 a.m., which means midnight, Pacific time, that is. It's called a Sturgeon Moon. Remember, these full moons are named certain things based on what's going on in the natural world, right? And it's at 17 degrees of Aquarius. This is what you're going to do. If you either know your chart, you're going to go to astro.com or any other, free astrology service, and find out where 17 degrees of Aquarius is. What house is that in you? That's the house that's going to be lit up with this full moon. An invitation to, put some focus there, to see what you need to let go of, to, the full moon reveals what needs to be healed or course corrected, right? So go there and see what's happening. What's the story that's being reflected through the celestial symbols and patterns? What patterns have been on repeat for you? This is a time to go, enough. I see it. I'm shedding that. And I'm connecting back into the intention you made with the new moon that happened. When was that new moon? January 29th of this year. Or you could even go back to February 9th of 2024. This is kind of how the lunation cycles go. You set intention. You sit in this awareness of what am I called to do? Then you're called to action. Then you're growing that potential. Then you're having a full moon to see where you are. How far have you grown? How much more do you need to do? And it's nothing more than, think about the full moon. Some people get scared about anything with astrology or full moon. Think about it's just opportunities to reflect on where you are, to be reminded of what's still possible, to be called back to your true self, right? Okay. So, I already talked about that. Also, I wanted to mention, we're still in Mercury Retrograde. This has been, maybe because I have Moon in Leo, a very wonky Mercury Retrograde, like the kind that you just get snagged in your computer stuff, or weird communications, or like weird. I bank electronically, and I paid my credit card, call and I pay. And this weird snafu happened, and I had to kind of be a detective and figure out what the heck happened. So there's a lot of that for me. Mercury went into retrograde on July 18th, I believe. It's going direct on August 11th. So I'd love to hear your Mercury retrograde stories. Of course, we also have other planets in Mercury in retrograde, like Chiron and Neptune and Saturn and Pluto and Mercury, and it's really the planets that are closer to us that impact us more, like Mercury does. But planets in retrograde can kind of feel like this spinning backwards, right? Because we're called to reflect, review, reassess, reestablish all the RE words. But Chiron in retrograde has been reviewing old wounds. This is a collective experience because we need to turn our wounds, not turn them because our wounds remain, but harvest the gifts from the wounds and move ourselves out of the perspective of wound into the perspective of being empowered and strengthened by the unique wounds you had that created what I call your unique soul medicine, right? So, and retrograde, just have grace. I always say grace with pace. I mean, pace with grace. See, retrograde throws me back into my dyslexia. Pace with grace. I mean, not just during retrograde season, but during these intensely transformational times. I was trying to think of that quote I love, and I don't remember who said it, but it's like, be kind with others, for you don't know what silent battles they're going through, or something like that. We are all, hitting an edge of something. Trust me. Okay. And then they say, don't trust people who say, trust me, but trust me. All right. So let me just go over some of the aspects, and then I'm going to wrap up with just some more intuitive take on this. We have Mercury and Leo opposing Pluto and Aquarius. So that opposition again, Mercury, mind, our thoughts, how we communicate. Pluto, deep shadow work, deep desire for deep dives and transformation. And, Pluto is really and there's intensity here. So there's some intensity with our communication, how we communicate, what's being communicated, how we're receiving it. Remember this, if you are triggered by someone else's communication, that is your work. That is your work, okay? And Pluto in Aquarius wants you to do your shadow work to release and liberate your authentic self, okay? Mars is now in Libra, opposing, again, another opposition, Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So the Mars in Libra is what's called in detriment, because Mars is naturally in Aries, like, let's go, but Mars in Libra is like, oh, what's the best choice? And we may feel a little, oh, I'm confused now. I thought I knew what I was doing, but is that right? Is this right? Is this best? Is this better? Is this, like people pleasing can be activated again? But opposite, Neptune and Saturn in Aries. Aries is about self. What is best for you? Neptune and Saturn is about the vision for your life. So this may be like you feeling like a check, like, oh, you're starting to vision for something great, but you got into the, how will this affect this person, or what will this person say? And is this the best thing? What's the best thing? And you've just kind of collapsed in too many decisions, too many choices. This full moon, and in general, I'm going to do a video on this, on why it's so important to honor and trust your own intuition, your own instincts. So we're being called to that in this full moon. Like, what is your truth? What is best for your vision for your life? And in doing what's best for you, this is the hard thing to take in, but we must to unhook from the old programming of people pleasing and the old story of selfish is bad. If you're not for yourself, who is supposed to do all this work for you? You. So make peace with the word selfish. It's got a bad rap. Okay. So, all right. So then all of these aspects, so we have a grand trine in air. So we're thinking a lot, and there's fluidity of, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. But we can just get lost in that flow of just ideas, not doing anything. But we have what's called a kite. I love a kite with Saturn. Let's see. So we've got, so kite is grand trine with an opposition. That opposition, I think of a kite, is like we want to soar, but we need that line tethered on earth. We need to ground our high, lofty ideas and visions and possibilities and ground it into practical possibilities, right? So it is a time for us to soar, to think about what old dreams we put on hold and old visions that we were stuck with because we were trying to launch with old patterns, old beliefs, and old ways, and that's not going to work. So we're shedding. Full moon is about releasing, shedding, letting go of old beliefs, old patterns. Ask yourself simply, or create a vision, even if your vision is like for your health or relationship or one thing, or it's a big vision, a grand vision of a whole remodel for your life, right? You need to ask yourself, what do I need to believe in order? And that beliefs are important here, especially with this Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries. Neptune is also like, what am I dreaming about? But Saturn is, how do we make that happen practically, right? What foundation structures do you need to do this? So our structures in our inner world are our beliefs. You need a foundational belief system that strengthens you, empowers you. So you ask, are the beliefs I am holding for myself in this possibility empowering, strengthening, or not? And then you change, you do that remodel. Like, I'm seeing like the foundational boards, and you pull up that old wood and nope, I'm going to fall through the cracks with believing I'm not worthy or not good enough or whatever that belief is. And then you put the structure. I am worthy of having what I desire. I am good enough. I am capable. All that. Foundational beliefs allow you to launch into higher possibilities. Okay, so what is this full moon calling us to do? Well, first of all, just what are you noticing? What are you feeling like, God, the universe tapping on your shoulder? Now's the time. Or maybe your dreams, your nightly dreams are really on repeat, or you're having reoccurring dreams because there's a message your soul wants you to have in order to reclaim potential and start the visioning forward, right? Moving your feet as you vision forward. So, but again, back to the beginning of this, growing pains. What are you irritated about? Where are you frustrated? These are growing pains or birth pains, or the potential trying to emerge from the invisible into the visible. So what are you called to release? Limitations. Any limiting thought about, but I always, now listen to yourself when you talk to friends. I always this, I never that. Those are choices you made out of your conditioning. Always and never keeps you stuck in the past, in your old neighborhood. I think I have a video on that. Go watch it. Old neighborhood, new neighborhood. So release always and never and say, I now choose. What do you now choose that's aligned with your soul potential? Okay. So you're releasing limitations where you can, where you have the power to do so, and that is the power inside of your own inner world. When you are in actual physical limitations, like, and say you're working in a job that you're really so done with, but you don't see the door opening yet, or they're in that kind of messy middle, like, or liminal space where you've outgrown the relationship, the job, the situation you're in. But the door hasn't opened, or it's not that the way forward isn't prepared yet. So turn the limitation you're in into like stepping stones, or turn the limitation into your own inner training. Like you're doing weight training with the limitations. You're allowing yourself to not fully resist, like accept where you are, but use whatever is in it to grow and strengthen. I'm not sure how to explain this, what I'm getting, but I'm seeing a gym, and I'm seeing like a surrender, like this is where you are. So you're practicing with what is to prepare and strengthen for what you need to go where you're going. Does that make sense? If it does, let me know. I don't know. Sometimes I get these images and I have to translate them, and that's the best I can do right now. But remember too, we are visioning, reconnecting to your own unique soul mission, your own unique soul medicine. And by soul medicine, what I mean by that is all the wounds that you've experienced, all the challenges, all the pain, turning those lessons into gifts and your unique offering, right? So you're not going to like this one, but I'm going to tell you, we are practicing the spiritual tool of patience. Oh, I know you don't like that word. I know I don't like it either. But we're practicing patience and grace with what is, while preparing to blast forward to unique possibilities, unique offerings. Okay. So there's this kind of pause before the launching and the blasting off. I I do feel so deeply, even though it's really challenging times. I know. I really feel we're being prepared for greater things yet to be. I have to hold on to that hope. Um, and then this is key. I forgot to mention this is a beautiful aspect happening, and I would encourage you, because I'm probably not going to do a video about this before it happens. We have Venus in Cancer and Jupiter in Cancer. Either one separate is just a beautiful thing. Venus is how we love, what we love, how we value ourselves. In Cancer is a call to love yourself more, nurture yourself more, like mother yourself. Just take good care of yourself and your body and your life. And then Jupiter expands everything and will first show us what's not in alignment with the possibilities, and then invite us to a higher way of practicing. Jupiter in Cancer, a higher call for greater nurturing of self and others and life. And so these two are going to be in a conjunction on the 11th. And so, yeah, we're being invited to create that nurturing space for ourselves and potential, and creating an inner safe and loving place. So if you have any mother issues or parenting issues where you didn't get what you needed from your parents, bless them. They did the best they could. You get to take it over and say, okay, what did I need? And how do you creatively meet those needs now? Okay. So I think that's all I have. Oh no, there's more. I'm scrolling down. Okay. Remember that we are learning and growing from our challenges, and we're celebrating our blessings. And I really encourage you to go watch the other video, because I talk about this. Celebrate your blessings, as small as they may seem. Like one of my blessings I noted in the last video was I haven't been able to move in the way that I'd like to, because I've been experiencing for a while now some chronic pain. And one thing was plantar fasciitis. It's just been a beast of a nightmare thing. Like I usually can recover quickly from things. I'm like, this is not going away. So things that aren't going away, back to that feeling of limitation, these are your teachers. What are they teaching you? In my case, I had to do things differently. I had to be creative with how I move my body and make peace with I couldn't move the way that I used to. But 3 days ago now, my foot was feeling great. I was able to dance again. So that is a blessing. It's a small blessing, but it's really a huge blessing, because my soul felt like back online, you know? Okay. So remember, we are growing, like, think about that kite in this lunation. We're sort of growing, strengthening our wings, whatever that means. That's a symbolic gesture to you, or symbolic image for you to think about. What are your wings that you need to strengthen in order to soar with higher possibilities? Okay, I just feel like, yep, we're in some turbulent water, but there's calm waters ahead. We're preparing to fly and see higher possibilities. And does any of this speak to you? Please do let me know. Please comment below. Go to victoriajazwick.com, my website. Check out my work. If you're called to work with me, I can book you in September for a 20-minute consultation. I'm booked out this month. But if you want to work with me and you know that you do and know that you're worth it, schedule a session with me, okay? So peace be with you during these turbulent times of cutting teeth and rebirthing ourselves and all the stuff that we're facing, growing through. Pace with grace. Take good care of yourself. Nurture your heart, your soul, your potential, and trust that we are being prepared for something greater than what is. Okay, trust that. Thanks for being with me. Comment below. Subscribe if you haven't. The whole commercial. Sending you love right where you are. Take good care of you. You're worth it. Bye-bye.